Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, they're at it again. And the reason for the photograph that you saw, that is the thumbnail of this live stream, is the mayor's office under Sheng Thao. And I'm not saying Mayor Schaaf was much better, but she was to some degree, is specializing in simply not answering Freedom of Information Act requests for information. And, and in this case, emails that were written between her office and Major League Baseball and her office and the Oakland Athletics and vice versa. Because it's great to be able to, on the very day that she realized that the Athletics were deep in their planning to leave Las Vegas and had announced that they were going to stop talks and focus deeply on building a ballpark in Las Vegas. Now, she said she was blindsided, had no idea that their behavior was untoward, all kinds of adjectives. But the bottom line, what I both know if you followed this, is that since March 27th of 2021, Major League Baseball / Oakland A's, because really baseball has wanted this, have been on a parallel path in establishing a new home either in Las Vegas or Oakland at Howard Terminal. And if you pay attention to Zenny62 YouTube or any of our blogs, you know that on particularly at Oakland News Now blog.com on the 25th of November 2021, I said the Athletics were going to build a new ballpark at Festival Grounds in Las Vegas and partner with Phil Ruffin. While that didn't come to pass, the bottom line was that I was certain the Athletics were leaving Oakland for Las Vegas, even if the ultimate objective wasn't to build at the Las Vegas Festival Grounds, and it was to build, as it is now, at the Tropicana site. So, and the reason I had done that was simple. The city reneged on its promise to the Athletics to establish an enhanced infrastructure financing district with a public financing authority and use tax increment financing. That's why. That would have allowed the city to provide a robust subsidy of a needed 800 million to build the much needed sea level rise infrastructure, which was the original issue of the Howard Terminal site, and also pay for off-site infrastructure. The A said, and also community benefits. Three major items, which really draws a high and hard price tag. But the city never did it, dragged its feet on it, and consistently argued with the Athletics regarding community benefits, an issue that the Athletics president Dave Cobble told me went on for 4 years. It was like Groundhog's Day, right? So, with all of that, you would think that the mayor would be very interested in you and I seeing her emails, right? But that's not the case at all. In fact, I did a little sleuthing. Let me give you one example of a number of them. This right here is specific to my discussion. This is request number 23-9526 of the public records request for Oakland, California. And this is actually written by a member of the NBC investigative unit out of NBC Bay Area. And it says, as you can read, and I enlarged it so that you can pick up the words, This is a request under the California Public Records Act. I am requesting, the person writes, Hilda, any and all email communications between the mayor's office and Rob Manfred and his team, Commissioner Major League Baseball, as well as all emails between the mayor's office and John Fisher and his team, owner of the Athletics, Oakland Athletics, since January 2021, sufficient to show any and all communications attempts to make a deal for the Oakland A's to stay in Oakland. This includes, but is not limited to, negotiations and conversations about the Oakland A's staying in Oakland, deals, proposals of not moving the team, gaining expansion team, Coliseum lease extension, proposals to keep the A's in Oakland and the A's name. Please also include any email to set up in-person or phone meetings with either. Then it goes on to write, to say, if you will, please send all request material to Hilda Gutierrez at NBCUniversal.com. UNI is universal.com. If for some reason you are not able to send me this material via email, please contact me as soon as possible so that we can make other arrangements. If there is any way in which I can help with this request, please do not hesitate to let me know. These records are in the public interest, and I ask that you waive any fees. If you deny this request, please tell me on what grounds and to whom I should appeal. For any questions or any additional information concerning this request, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you so much for your time and consideration concerning this matter. Sincerely, Hilda Gutierrez, NBC Bay Area's Investigative Unit. Now, if you scroll down, you can see the timeline. It was removed by the city administrator. Prior to that, added. It was assigned to the office of the mayor. It was received and opened on the web September 25th at 2:25 p.m. by the requester. It was due October 5th after being received September 25th. Department's Office of the Mayor, point of contact, Brandon Harami. Every time Brandon Harami has received a point of contact request regarding the issue, it has went unanswered. Now, how do I know that? Because all I have to do is scroll up and then go back here. Excuse me. That's a little too far back. I apologize. And in reviewing this, click on Documents. It says 0 results in all documents. Now, if something had been sent, it would have been filled in here. Okay. This is where it gets filled in. So you would say, where is it that I'm looking at? Well, I will show you. And if you go here, Oakland, all right, Open Public Records, all right. This is where it is. You can make a request. You can check on all requests here. There are 78,490 requests. And you can filter out your request here by typing in, for example, EIFD, Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District, right? And then click on Apply Filters. And you will see the results. Now, if you want to sort them by date, all you have to do is just go to the area of due date, click here, right? See how it goes into place, these due date, 8/17/22, and so on. This goes down, right? That was the most recent one. So if we click on this one, all right, this has to do with code enforcement. It's not strictly Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District. In fact, the search system may very well be such that this is not getting me what I want. And then this one wants immediate disclosure regarding a comprehensive list of estimated costs in the city. This is interesting. Hold on a second. Let me show you this. You click on this number. You want to open it, you click on this number, it opens, right? And you scroll up because I've got it on ultra big, if you will. So request, immediate disclosure request. Please provide the most recent versions of the following information. This information has been presented over several weeks at city council meetings and in public records. So this is an immediate disclosure request. Please follow the applicable laws. Please follow. I'm laughing because that's not the correct format to ask for it, but that's another story. Please provide the following information. You should really quote the specific Freedom of Information Act law and say by that. At any rate, it reads, please provide the following information. The city's estimate on the cost for on-site infrastructure for the Howard Terminal project. And then that's one. And then 1A is a comprehensive list of that infrastructure cross-indexed with its costs. Now, what does that mean? I don't know what that means, cross-indexed. Just simply itemized is the better term. Then 2, the city's estimate on the cost for off-site infrastructure for the Howard Terminal project and a comprehensive list that reads show more of that infrastructure cross-indexed with its cost. That should just say itemized. The city's estimate of the dollar amount expected to be generated from the financing structure of EIFD, CFD on that site that can go on to paying for both sets of infrastructure. And then it writes, this request is to be directed to Betsy Lake and or Molly Mayburn. So it was received July 21, 2021 at 1:03 in Department of Sign with City Administrator. Dates received on July 2021, due by the 2nd of August of 2021. It was assigned to Rose Rubel in the city administrator's office, not what were requested. But having said all that, we then go to documents here, right? And we click on it, and then we scroll down, and scroll up, and we find 0. No response whatsoever, which in a way doesn't surprise me because of the format and the disjointedness of the question. All right. So that's how this works. And I'll come back here. That's how this works. And so I can go on and provide some other examples. In fact, I will while I have you here because it's fun to do. And so I want you to see an example rather, of where someone's actually responded to something. Okay. So we can scroll through to the next one, or just see if there was a response here. And this is a random choice, so I don't know if there was or wasn't. This isn't predetermined, but there's a 0 here. A lot of zeros, a lot of examples where these requests, have not been responded to. All right. So go back to all requests. There were 13 for EIFD, right? Now, how about Howard Terminal? Howard Terminal. Can apply the filters there, right? Go through. And this latest one is 6/20/2023. And this one has to do with grant application. So let's click on that. In an editorial published in the Wall Street Journal, Mayor Sheng Thao, this is not going to be responded to, stated that 100 million worth of grant applications are pending that would cover the outstanding infrastructure costs for a Howard Terminal ballpark project. Please provide the basis for this claim by the mayor, including name of grant and grant entity, application due date, announcement or award date, grant application narrative. All right. The request was closed. It was opened. It was given to Winnie Wu in his office. Now, if we click on it, Winnie also did not respond. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Well, this was different though. This one that popped up here, this is not actually the same one. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Winnie responded. She sent something called, this is the Crisis Nation the port grant for arterial roadways, and the final town rail safety improvements project. So she responded, which makes Brandon look that much worse. I'm opening this up. Slow to open. It's opening now. It's Secrecy combined application PDF. However, it's supposed to be for download. So I click on it for download. Let's see if it opens. First of all, and here it. Let's see if I can get this out of the way. And yeah, we go here to, and then we go downloads, and we open up the application as I'm doing right now. It's, excuse me. Oh, the file, a minute. It said it couldn't be opened. Town rail safety improvements providing critical safety, reliability, and movement improvements along the Embarcadero West Rail Corridor. What am I looking? I will show you what I'm looking at here. There's multiple copies of it popped open. And let me go back to the original here so you can see it. And then go up here. And I will stop screen there. Go present, share screen. And here is the combined application. Thus, that's it. That's it. Okay. Town rail safety improvements. Now, if I go down to where it is here, excuse me, and scroll down. Oh, wait a minute. That's not quite the right one. There are actually two of these bad boys, if you will. So let's go. It's Chrissy Grant application there. StreamYard Studio here. That's one. And there's the other. Okay, here we go. Right. So you can read it. Transforming Oakland's waterfront neighborhoods. Federal funding requested was $43,000 for that, and proposed non-federal match for $52,000. And it goes on to discuss the project itself. It's not specific to Howard Terminal. It reads, this has to do with rail freight. It says the project is in the tip under the following ID. Oh, but excuse me, I apologize. It reads West Oakland Howard Terminal connectivity found here. This project is also included in the Bay Area 2050 as part of the Alameda County Transportation Commission's countywide transportation plan. So this was a grant regarding Howard Terminal downtown connectivity. And this is an itemized list of projects to achieve that, sponsored by the Alameda County Transportation Commission. I don't know if you can see that. You can see it. Okay. You can see it. So here that is. All right. So this was responded to. And it's clear that on the transportation end, and Howard Terminal was really further along than in the community benefits area, and certainly in the area of enhanced infrastructure financing district formation and calculations of revenue. This is a cost issue. This is a cost issue. All right. And it goes down. We have we have project funding here, project summary. Let's go to number 2. Number 2, project summary. The city of Oakland is requesting $43.3 million to implement Transforming Oakland's waterfront neighborhoods rail safety program and rail safety improvements that will vastly improve safety and reliability of passenger freight along the Embarcadero West Corridor. This part doesn't specifically concern Howard Terminal. And now although it impacts Howard Terminal. Now, the other one is, in fact, the best way for me to sort this out, given the way this is written. It was actually written as if it were for Howard Terminal, but when you drill down, it's more specific to a more general set of improvements that impact Howard Terminal. Howard Terminal here isn't listed, except there is the $53 million grant. Let me try this. Go through find in page, and we just type Howard. HOWARD. Yeah, Howard. Okay. There's 2 of 7 matches. Howard Terminal, as you can see, West Oakland downtown Howard Terminal connectivity found here, which is what led us to what you saw. All right. And then the DOSP designates 3 areas south of I-880 and Jack London neighborhoods, I'm reading up here, as transformational opportunity areas with several parcels available for new development. The plan also indicates Howard Terminal at the Port of Oakland as an opportunity site for redevelopment into a dense mixed-use urban neighborhood. And so we go down and we find, all right, in addition, economic benefits will be multiplied with a future commercial and residential plan growth of the project area, which includes, of course, Howard Terminal. Now, then we continue going down here, and it discusses the plan for the ballpark, new open air waterfront multi-purpose Major League Baseball ballpark, capacity of up to 35,000 persons, etc. And then this one is the 5th of 7 matches. The project is informed by engagement related to the proposed waterfront ballpark district at Howard Terminal, which began in July of 2019 following the development of an inclusive public engagement plan. The plan focused on ensuring input from Oakland's community members, who are typically marginalized in public processes and often most impacted by racial, economic, and health disparities. You know, we have to give the city an A grade here for paying attention to the community, even if it was outside of a process where all this could be done in a timely fashion rather than it seeming like it was never going to end. They had 17 meetings conducted between 2019 and 2020, and with information available in multiple languages. So now that was the 5th of 7. If we keep going down, it discusses the racial equity analysis for the Howard Terminal project area. And then it points to the waterfront ballpark district at Howard Terminal inclusive public engagement plan under the category of the city and the Port of Oakland will require all project construction to use the services of either the city's apprenticeship work development partner system or the port's maritime and aviation project labor agreement. And it goes on to say, as far as community participation beyond job creation, the project goals and specific components derived from public engagement and community partnerships with the following groups. One of them being the Waterfront Ballpark District at Howard Terminal's Inclusive Public Engagement Plan Group. All right. So that's what that's about. So the bottom line, though, is that Winnie in the city administrator's office responded. Okay. But the mayor did not respond with respect to the key documents regarding communications between her office, the Oakland Athletics, and Major League Baseball. So this really calls into question her claims. And it also sheds light on the possibility that if, let's say, Major League Baseball decided to file suit, or let's say the city really did decide to go ahead and sue, the emails exchange would come out in the discovery period. So maybe that sheds a light, I think it does, on, and I've said this before, why the city has no case to actually sue the Athletics. The Athletics, at every step of the way, knew precisely what they were doing. Now, someone may criticize John Fisher for spending, but you can't criticize John Fisher for process in here. They paid attention to it as best they can, even working with an organization that did not have a stadium authority process to properly guide along the development of these documents, the approval of these documents, and then the completion of an overall set of agreements that leads to a development agreement and eventually groundbreaking. All right. That's not here. RD Moss says the Oakland mayor likes to act like she's badass, but comes off as a fake badass trying to patter for support. I mean, I don't subscribe to that description. It's okay to be a badass. I mean, but on the other hand, you're not saying it isn't okay. Look, yeah, Sheng has a problem, and she uses Brandon to be the person who executes her ideas, in using the media to try to give the public whatever impression she wants to him. But she presents the question of what really happened beyond her words. And this essentially is a first answer. She's saying, I don't want you to see what I actually said to Major League Baseball, and I don't want you to actually see what their concerns were. I don't want you to see that. It's not that the communications don't exist, because if the communications didn't exist, how would they get to meeting Major League Baseball Commissioner Manfred during the All-Star, in the run-up to the All-Star game in Seattle? All right? You don't do that without an email communication. You don't even, you just don't, okay? That's not what's happening here. RD says, excuse me for a second. You pegged the mayor's actions perfectly. No substance. It's worse than that. It's an attempt to cover up the truth. There's no question about it, but to say that it is a blatant attempt to cover up the truth. What really happened? The public has a right to know the truth. And they're not getting that truth out. Vegas Mark says Sheng is the basic example of talk but doesn't walk the talk. All bark and no bite. I think again it's worse. She uses mainstream media to present a point of view that's out there, knowing that, and this is the criticism a lot of people have of what all the media organizations have done, really investigating. And it's not that they can't. For example, the NBC unit, which I believe is partnered with Raj Matai, right? Or is clearly after these questions, didn't get the answers, but they didn't report. They did not report. Hilda did not report that she didn't get a response. This should have been news. This is news. I saw this and immediately, as you can see, made it news for you, so that you know the actual truth office has been doing. They have been obfuscating the situation. They don't want you to see the actual email exchanges so that you can sort through them and determine which communications are important, which ones aren't, which ones are explosive, and which ones are devastating. They don't want you to see anything. They don't want you to wade through anything. They sent nothing. All right. This is something that should have been responded to. Now, the mayor is going to say, well, these are sensitive, confidential negotiations. Well, at what point, when you're talking about the public interest, do they remain confidential? We're not talking about a private organization's doings. We're talking about a public organization and how it chooses to respond to an organization, the private sector, it's asking. And since Major League Baseball is working with, and the Athletics are working with the A's, they don't have the luxury of saying, we don't want the public to see this question or this email. This is not a CIA issue. These are not federal governments or the fictional WSB and General Hospital or something like that. This is the public interest. That's what the Freedom of Information Act is for. And clearly his office and administration do not want you to see the emails of these interactions. And the biggest question of all you have to ask is, why? What is the mayor hiding? Why is the mayor hiding it? If it were something that made the mayor look good, you'd think she'd show it in a heartbeat, right? What's going on? What's going on? So, no, Vegas Mark, I disagree with your characterization because it makes it sound like Sheng has no substance. But in point of fact, she does. It's the wrong kind of substance, though. It's the substance that's born of cover-up. The substance that's born of cover-up. All right, folks. Back with more later. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube, please. And make sure to bookmark ZennyReport.com. There's a lot more coming here. Count on it. See ya. Hey, Heisman Trophy in just over 10 minutes. Check it out. My picks. Who knows? See ya. Thanks.